Okay, so she has cancer. We're about to see the property. You're going to see this live, unfiltered, raw, and see exactly what we do and how we create this deal. I'll see you on the other side, but I want you to prepare yourself. That's why I'm on here real quick before you see the actual live, unfiltered walkthrough of how I negotiate and how I do everything else. So see you on the other side. Bye. Okay, so right now we're going to do, you're going to see how I, this property at 1442 Sure Acres, we're going to do a comp search. So I just finished the conversation with Jordan. Gina is the owner. And now I'm going to show you how we evaluate the property before the actual appointment, so we know exactly what we actually want to offer on the property, or what can we actually do when we see it, right? So when we see the property, we have to go by, okay, what still needs to get done to make sure that property is in perfect condition, right? And we all can make a win-win, right? So the seller's got to win, we've got to win, and then, you know, obviously they've got to walk away with their amount. We still have to make a profit as well, but we have a lot of work to do. So I've got to actually make sure there's no like aha moments inside that conversation. So I'm going to do my best to inspect it. And then this is what we do every time that we see a property. We actually do a full comp search and what I call the appraisal. The only thing is you can't get a loan off of our appraisals that we do. But I'm going to show you exactly what we do. So here it is right here. So first we're going to do the comp search, but just to understand property values, right? So first thing is you got to make sure whatever you're looking at. So this is the property right here, right? This is 1442 Shore Acres Drive, Lakeland, Florida, 3381. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,538 square feet, built in 1952. Now this matters. 1952 matters, okay? Make sure, let's capture that, keep it in your head, right? So remember, the comps, how you actually get a property, the establish a property value is 5 years up, right? Or 5 years down of that year built. This is 1952 of that year built. Similar in square footage, meaning we have to find things that are similar in this square footage. Similar in style, right? Similar in style, block home, right? Upgrades, I don't know if there's any upgrades on this property, or downgrades. Does it need a new roof? What does it need? I have no idea, right? And then we have to look at similar properties that have been sold in that radius in the last 6 months. So similar in year built, 5 years up, 5 years down. Similar in square footage, similar in style, and has to be in that small radius within the last 6 months or less, right? So that is what we're looking for. So we're looking for that right off the bat. And so now I've actually got to pull a comp search. So what we do is we pull it off of what they call the MLS, what we found has the best comps because we could see inside the property. And now we're going to go to it. So we're actually going to pull the address right here. So we'll pull the address, put it inside here as well. So now you guys can see it. There it is. Going to press search. Or my computer lets me press search. Search. All right, so now we're going to check this out, right? So, okay. So here we go. So we're going to look at, so here it is, the property. She bought it in 2017 for 50 grand, or she got it inherited. Property is 1338 square footage. That's the property. That's what it looks like right here, right? So there's what it looks like. Actually, let me put it over here, right here. Okay, so that's Gina. This is her name, right over here. Actually, let me take this auto tracking out of here. Sorry about that. Okay, that's Gina. That's her name. All right, so now we're going to check out the property. So we're going to do what they call, so we're going to make sure we got her name right. Gina Lewis. Owner, input it in our system. Okay, so now we've got it in our system. Now we're going to do what they call a comp search. That's creating a CMA, right? So let's take off. Hopefully this is making sense. All right, so now we're going to do a sales comparison. I'm going to show you guys exactly what we're doing. We're going to check out the facts of the property. So the facts of the property: single family home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,380 square feet. Over here it says 1,538, but that's because it has a porch. We got to look for heated square footage. That's what matters on a property. It's a big lot too, so that's good. Which potentially we could subdivide a lot. Now we're going to find comps. And it doesn't matter what your neighbor sold for, because if your neighbor is not, again, 5 years up, 5 years down to the year built in similar square footage, none of that shit matters, right? So now we're going to see, we could check what's active, but again, what matters at the end of the day is sold. What has actually sold? So now 1952, here's everything about the property. We're looking at it. We're going to look at the last 6 months. This is a map of where the property is located. It's a Shore Acres is so-so area, right? So now we're going to click search. Okay, so remember, 5 years up, 5 years down of 1952. Now, if it's 10 years, it may work, but let's see everything. Again, this property is on Shore Acres. So let's see. Okay, so this is 1950. That could be a comp. 46 is tough because it's also block. It may work. Big if, don't know. This one, 1949, close. Fern, 1954. 217 Fern. That one's block. That's wood, though. This is a wood frame one. Peachwood. Here's another 1950. Magnolia. 2024. You see what I mean? That doesn't count. 701 North Vermont. I know that area pretty well. So everything I'm seeing here, 285, it may work, not sure. It's iffy just because this is also wood frame and that property is block. So like this property right here, block, that's right there, sold for 146. So some of them are selling for more. So like this one sold for 295, but we're going to check out the inside of these properties too. See, and this one sold right down the street for 137. It's not 5 years up, but it's not far also. So now this property also has a big lot, 0.48, 0.41. So now let's see, these are all the properties. Adjust. Now it shows us all of the properties, how much they sold for, what's the square footage, all of it, right? So now we're going to go here. Now it's giving us right off the rip, it's about 223. Okay, so here we go. We're going to create report so we can see the inside of it. There's our valuation report. Clicking run. This is how we do it, so you guys can see. It's generating a report. I'll be right back. I think I can press pause on this. Okay, it's still running the report. See? Report in progress. Let's wait this out. See how long it takes. Boom, done. All right, now we're going to download report, and we're going to print this because we want to give this in the meeting, right? So we've got, it's showing us, it's at 223. It's ranging from 138 to 300, right? So now we're going to check out the other properties. So we got all the facts of the property. It's a double lot, it's a big lot. Half an acre is big. So this shows kind of like the trends. COVID was an interesting trend. There's where the property is located. All right, so what we need to see is, so here's the other properties, right? So here's all the other ones. Now, what I want to see is the one that sold for high dollar. What does that look like inside? So it just shows us, again, all of the schematics of the property, you know, where is it located, how much did it sell for, per square footage, all this is showing, right? Also, our lot is a lot bigger. So our lot, it's old too. Our lot's 73 years old, remember? So our lot, 19,000. So basically it's 4 lots, right? So this 0.44, like there, that's similar. And that sold for $295. So that's a good one. That's not bad. Okay. So let's see if we can go to inside and look inside. So that's just showing the outside, right? But some of them, if you look close, show the inside. See, like this one. Okay, so this one has a 2-car garage, sold for $295. Really cute inside, right? Now I got to make sure the other property that we want to buy, or we're going to buy from the seller, looks similar, right? We don't know yet. So what about this one? Sold for $250, close to it. Do we have any inside? No, that's the best we got. Small house too. What about this one? $299. Let's see if we can look inside. No, that's the best picture they got. So sometimes they have the photos. See, that's block. $217. It's cute inside, right? This is what we're looking for. Same here. 194, 146. That's what it sold for. 197 or 137, 137 is what it looks like inside. Not horrible, right? But we got to see the inside of the property to make a bid, so we don't know. All of this is trending, marketing trend, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really matter. What matters is the comps. So remember what I brought up before when we were doing comps. This is what matters, right? So that's what we're looking for. Similar year built, similar square footage, similar in style, and now we're going to print this comp report as well. And so now we're going to see the inside of the property. We'll meet the seller, and we're going to see what we can do. I have no clue until we actually inspect the property, come up with an evaluation of the property, see what's possible with the property, and then create a win-win. At the end of the day, like if the numbers make sense and they're open to creating a deal, fantastic. We can move forward. If they're not open to making a deal, let me get my pen as well. Then that works as well. Like at the end of the day, we always want to go to the property, letting them know, say, hey, if we're close on numbers, like if we can make this work, I want to make sure, like, are you ready to sign a contract? If you're not ready to sign a contract, then don't even think about it. If you're ready to sign a contract, then let's move forward and let's make these numbers work. All right, so you're getting some behind the scenes of how we evaluate properties before the actual appointment. So now you see what we're doing. This is what we're evaluating. We're looking at it. We're going to print it. We're going to go over it. And you're here for the journey. This is what we do. So, bye. All right, so hopefully you got something out of this entire video, that you watched raw and unfiltered. Yes, she had cancer. Yes, we negotiated a deal. And then she wanted to think about. Now, most of the time, what you want to do in those kind of situations, you don't even actually want to schedule the appointment at all if they're really not ready to sign an agreement. It's kind of a waste. And so, but these are lessons that you always have to learn, even myself sometimes. My recommendation, if they're not ready to sign, even if you give them what they want, don't even don't even go to the appointment at all. But if you are interested in learning more about being a true investor, doing things with integrity and doing things the right way, and giving sellers options with win-win scenarios, then go to trueinvestors.com, join the community, be a part of it, and start taking action now. Even if you're interested in mentorship, probably I can't mentor everybody, but if you want to fill out the application, you're more than welcome. All right, be blessed. Bye.